A day after major details were released about 17-year-old Maggie Long's murder, the public got to ask questions about this case. Yesterday, we learned from investigators they're looking for 3 men and that Maggie was burned alive in December of 2017. The newly elected Park County Sheriff held a town hall meeting tonight in Bailey.
9 News reporter Noel Brennan was there, and Noel, they say this has been a frustrating year, but some folks told you they thought tonight helped.
Absolutely a positive step forward is the general consensus, Kyle. No new information on the case came out tonight. That was yesterday, the big update, as Kim mentioned. We learned the awful news that Maggie had been burned alive and that now investigators are looking for 3 suspects in connection with her death. Tonight, this was all about transparency, an opportunity for the community to ask a new sheriff questions about this case. So here at Fitzsimmons Middle School, about 50 or so people came to the middle school gym. The Park County Sheriff Tom McGraw gave an overview of the Maggie Long case. He shared information about a new website, MaggieLongTaskForce.com. That's where people can learn about this investigation and submit anonymous tips. Then the sheriff opened it up for questions. One person asked if DNA had been collected from the Long family home. The sheriff confirmed that DNA was found, but wouldn't elaborate beyond that. There were questions about the suspect sketches that were released. The sheriff says we can expect a new sketch of a 3rd suspect soon. Tonight was the very first chance in nearly a year for the public to hear directly from the office that is leading this investigation. Those we talked to say it's a positive step forward.
It was very frustrating, and it made a lot of people angry that there was nothing ever said. You know, there was no updates. We weren't asking for specifics on the case. We just wanted to know that something was happening and that they were moving forward. And the complete silence was incredibly frustrating, and I think it hurt a lot of people and made a lot of people very angry. So the last 2 days has done a lot to repair that.
This is an abundance of information that really helps. So just the idea of now we know it's 3 guys, that was never mentioned before. And in the beginning, nothing was mentioned. So this is nice and open. It's a great feeling.
Also said that there were going to be 8 new billboards going up soon in the Denver and Colorado Springs areas. They're going to have Maggie Long's picture on there, some case information along with information about the new $50,000 reward that has doubled as of yesterday. So Kyle, people really appreciated the chance to come here tonight and ask questions, and the new sheriff assured us that he would hold a press conference when there was an update in the case.
New sheriff, new approach. All right, Noel Brennan, thank you very much.